Hello everyone, Hawky here, back with another Sword of Convallaria video. So let's do some damage comparisons, right? We have NIRVANA, but how much better is it? So I'm running double sword, so I can get the extra crit to force the ignition there, because I do have a low star LUVATA, only sitting at 1 star. She does get her crit buffs and everything after casting fire skills to, get the crit. But yeah, we'll just go with a 1 star version and test this out. Fire there is to give her some energy. I'll test the damage starting from turn 2 actually. So let's do this and give her a bunch of energy and Seed of Wisdom as well. And what we'll do is we'll move closer to the boss, right? Because I want to test out like Diffusing Prism and Starry Sky Heritage, because like I need to force the flame there on the boss. So we got the flame there on the boss. LUVATA is what, 3658. We have these buffs on her and moving doesn't matter, so we're going to try here with Meteor Flame and see how much damage this does. 4502 crit, nice. And we do have Scorch, Ignition. So let's see the sort of damage that we get here. Breath of Knowledge, Fire died, 587, 1405, 1405. And does that add up? 7899? Yep, okay, that is the difference. And we'll backtrack and we'll do the same here with Fire Wings, NIRVANA in Flames. What a mouthful of skill. Okay, there was like, what, 4 crits in there? And we got all the ignition stacks as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ignition and 1 scorch. So that's 5289, and then we'll see how much these Scorch and Ignition are. It should all be the same, right? Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, 587. And yeah, we ended at 12.9k. Let's try with Diffusing Prism. So changing to Diffusing Prism here. Slightly less magic attack, but not that much of a difference, right? And this time we're going to force the flames with Searing Gaze first on turn 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same as before. So we'll stand by. Actually, I should just use the urgent order to give LUVATA energy anyway. Why am I doing Seed of Wisdom? Okay, so do I have 1 less move or something? I'll do Searing Gaze here. We don't want to burn the boss, because that would throw the damage calcs a bit off, right? Or should I? Yeah, I realized I'll be losing the crit from Leaping Flames if I did damage the boss, right? I'll lose the crit from the Sword and Sword, sorry. But then I'll gain the crit from Leaping Flames. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll just leave it like that. And then compare like this damage here. Stand by, and then I'll go straight for the Meteor Flame, which would absorb this fire tile. And see the damage from this. 5772. And we consume that. And we do have a stack of ignition. And then we stand by, watch the boss take DOT damage, 1648. I was wondering why the ignition was higher. It was because we gained the attack 1, right, from Searing Gaze. So technically the ignition would just be 1405 if we were comparing it. And if we did the Searing Gaze on the boss or something, they'll also take the Scorch damage. So we'll just copy the previous round. Like, this should be the actual difference. 7764, 7899, right? And now we'll try with the other skill, Nirvana in Flames with Diffusing Prism. So what buffs do we get? The attack 1, right? So we'll be doing slightly more damage here. 5, 6. Oh, wow. All the crits and everything. How much damage is this? I feel like the damage is a bit less. 5, 6, 9, 5, but it really depends on how much crits you get. And we got the Scorch on this one, so Scorch will be 5, 8, 7, and then we got all the ignition stacks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 ignition stacks. I shouldn't double this up. Yeah, so that should be the ignition stacks, but we're going to hit higher because we have the attack 1 on that. I know the best way to do this. Yeah. And what's the final HP on this boss? It's... So yeah, that's the total. Like, we count these initial attacks with the attack 1 because we needed to force the flaming tile, and then these ones are without attack 1. So it's still lower than Nirvana. Nirvana's still higher, but I feel like it's not by much, right? Even without attack 1, it'll probably be sort of what, similar damage, maybe? I don't know. And I'll put her in with Starry Sky Heritage and see how this one goes. So we forced the flame with Searing Gaze, we gained the attack 1, and yeah, we'll go straight with the Meteor Flame here. 5, 4, 9, 2. Okay. And then we got 1 ignition. And let's assume Searing Gaze does the Scorch as well. So 5, 8, 7, and then we'll take the ignition damage, which is slightly increased because of the attack 1, right? It'll just be like 1 ignition stack. Yeah, 1, 6, 3, 8. Okay, and now we'll try with Nirvana in Flames. I feel like the calculations are so messy, right? Okay, there's like 3 or 4 crits. How much damage is this sitting at on the boss? So that's 5, 3, 6, 5, and we have 4 ignition stacks and 1 Scorch. Right? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, overall, Diffusing Prism is still better than Starry Sky Heritage. Actually, I should probably try it with Nirvana, and I'll do Searing Flames first, right? Searing Gaze. And now this is probably more comparable. We've got Searing Gaze, and then we go straight for the Meteor Flame here. 5, 4, 3, 6. And then, yeah, we got the initial Scorch, Ignition. And the DOT at the end should be like 1, 6, 3, 8, right? 1, 5, 4, 1. Was it less? Okay, so that gives us 9.1k. Okay. And now after Searing Gaze, we'll do Nirvana in Flames and see what damage this will do. Was that no crits? Was that honestly no crits? That is so bad. Okay, so definitely a lot lower because no crits. We still got the Scorch and... Wait. Oh, we didn't even get an extra ignition from our trait. Let me restart this. Okay, let's do this again and hope we hit at least 1 crit. Okay, we hit like 3 crits. That's good. And how much damage is this at now? Okay, so that's 5905, much better. And we got the 4 ignition stacks and the 1 Scorch, yeah? Yeah, took a bunch of DOT there. Really need to have a damage log, I feel. And like a test dummy or something. Yeah, 103, 174. Yeah, so everyone with the attack 1, what's that, like 9.1 versus like almost 8k, 14k versus 13, or 12.8 and 12.5. It's still, I know, it's good. And this was a crit this time. The Nirvana really solves the problem we set up, getting the burning tiles so our skills do more damage. But if you after more burning tiles, then it's best not to trigger the second effect and attack some enemies who don't have burning tiles around them to trigger more burning tiles. And yeah, it just means you don't really need to use Searing Gaze all that much if you have enough energy to support her ultimates. And yeah, we just get more damage because we do have that extra ignition stack. And we don't have to run like Roaring Flint if there's grass to cast the fire, or Searing Gaze to force the fire, and we can just straight up burst with the ultimate. I guess there's the other issue is if we don't use a skill beforehand, it might be hard for us to gain this crit buff when we're at high stars, because we have to cast the fire skill to gain the crit buff. So potentially you might still have to run Roaring Flint to get the crit buff before doing the ultimate. So probably what is best is if we go like Roaring Flint and Nirvana that way. And what do we do? Just run either one of the ultimates. We do like Roaring Flint, and then we can teleport in to do more damage if we're versing enemies on grass. Otherwise, we can save that skill for another time. And yeah, we're just casting Nirvana and then big ultimate skill. That's probably the best for burst. And that way, if your LUVATA is 2-star and above, we get the extra crit buffs and crit damage buffs there. And overall, the increase in damage, it's like a 10% increase in actual damage, but it just makes LUVATA less of a niche and reliant on burning tiles. All right, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.